So by the end of the summit, we're going to go over some of the myths and misconceptions about aging and chronic disease. A lot of people think, oh, well, it's too late for me. And if they say that, then they've just lost. Because to me, again, I think the biggest change starts between your ears. We're going to go over the risks associated with aging and chronic disease. What do you think one of the biggest risks is associated with aging? I was thinking death. I thought this would be pretty easy. See, my goal is to live to at least 150. And so far, I'm doing really good. But also, risk associated with chronic disease. I mean, no one wants to be miserable, right, or on multiple medications. And we're going to go over some of the true causes of aging and chronic disease, and then tools and action steps, like we said, to distill down so you can reduce or potentially even completely eliminate prescription drug dependency and effects of aging and chronic disease. Who wants to learn about that? Yeah. Okay, awesome. So a little bit, I'll go through this pretty quickly to give you an outline. Life expectancy is about 78, and we know that last year was the first time that life expectancy actually went down. Are healthcare costs going up or down? Up. Are premiums going up or down? Up. So are we doing maybe something wrong? Yes. So even though we're considered one of the most advanced, obviously, nations in the world, we know that we just actually went backwards. And this was despite the fact that we know that when people were about 65 years of age, women in about the 80s had about 17 years of life left. Now they have about 22 years of life left. What that means is for every 30 years, let me back up, for about every 5 or 6 years, we add a whole year to life expectancy. And that's actually been shown to be going, in some instances or some populations, it's actually going up faster than that, except for last year. And for men, about 13 versus 18. So one of the things, how many people would like to lose weight? So I know that'll be a big one we're talking about today. So how much does this weigh here? 5 pounds. 10. Okay, so we had a here 5 and 10. So let's do this. Let's do between 10 and 5. Who thinks this weighs 10 pounds? Raise your hand. Who thinks it weighs 5 pounds? Who's not voting? All you fence sitters out there. Researchers and myself and my fellow colleagues have identified that fat is now considered its own organ. This is 5 pounds. So raise your hand if you'd like to lose 5 or more pounds. So you want to lose this guy. Because we now know that this is its own organ that literally pumps and squirts inflammation into your blood all day long that turns on really disease and the aging process, which is why we know being overweight or being obese isn't healthy for us. So we've all heard of the body mass index, height and weight ratio. So let's look at this. In 1985, the highest rate of obesity was about 10 to 14%. Who in here was not alive in 1985? Okay. So for these next few slides, don't blink, because this has happened in your lifetime. Now, to be clear, you have normal weight, then you have overweight, then we have obesity numbers. So for this is just obesity. This is not counting people that are overweight or normal. So what that means is in those states, 10 to 14% of those states was considered obese. All right, so for these next slides, don't blink. Here we go. Levi's capturing your guys' reactions here. Because in 1997, we have to add a brand new category, 20%. 2001, 25%. 2005, 30%. 2014, 35%. Are we getting healthier or sicker as a nation? Sicker. So listening to mainstream advice, are we getting healthier or sicker? Sicker. So something needs to change. Are doctors sometimes wrong? Were these doctors arguably wrong? Is smoking bad for us? Did it take us all a while before collectively as a nation we all agreed with that? Do we learn new things every year? So the things that we know now may be different next year, right? Which is why you need to always be learning and staying up to date on this. So do you think you could find 20,000 physicians to say Lucky's are less irritating because it's toasted? So I love the fact that you're laughing, because this is a perfect segue to illustrate that there was a time when these ads came out where people weren't laughing. And we thought this was commonplace, just like we weren't laughing when these ads came out. Is this wrong? Is this unhealthy for kids? Yes. And there was a time where we all thought this was okay. So again, it comes down to mindset and shifting the mindset. Because which of these pools is healthier, the top pool or the bottom pool? Top one. Which one's going to be easier to maintain, the top or the bottom? The top. So just like that swimming pool, I would say your body is just like that, except for you can't necessarily see on the inside. Well, we can with labs and so forth. So the difference between these two pools comes down to really the chemical makeup. So as you're listening to the speakers today, ask yourself, how is this going to affect my health? How is this going to affect my chemical makeup? How is this going to get me into balance? If you don't get that bottom swimming pool fixed today, is it going to be easier or harder 3 months from now? Harder. When's the best time to wash dinner dishes? Right after dinner or 3 weeks later? Why do you wash dinner dishes right after dinner? Because it's a lot easier, right? So you do a little bit of work after dinner, saves you a lot of work the next day, right? Just like this swimming pool. You clean the swimming pool now, it saves you a lot of time later. So with your health, when's the best time to get healthy? Today or 3 months from now? Today. Who thinks today? Awesome. Because that's why you guys are here, is so you guys can start taking action on your own health roadmap and getting that mapped out today, or at least starting on that process. Because changing health, it's a process, not an event. If you invest in the outcome, you may win or lose. If you invest in the process, you always win. And the thing that breaks my heart is when people come to me and they say, well, I always think it's funny, oh, Dr. Gala, you're my last hope. I'm thinking, well, that's great. I'm the Hail Mary pass. But I'm thinking, I wish that we would have, I can't tell you how many people I've heard that have come to us and said, boy, Dr. Gala, I wish I would have met you guys 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. That's right. Because it's investing in the process. And the fact that you're here, you may get some of your answers for your health today. You may not. But the fact that you're here, you keep opening doors and never stop opening doors. One of my most sad things, two things that I hate to see. One is suffering of any kind. And the other is someone that's mentally beaten, that's hopeless, or that they feel hopeless, and you can see it in the way that they are, either with their health or just in life. To me, there's nothing that saddens me more than those two things, because I see people that are hopeless or helpless as suffering mentally. So today is to help you get healthy. And we know that maybe not necessarily doctors, but some other leading futurists, like Ray Kurzweil, the engineer from Google, believes that in immortality, essentially, that you're going to add a year to your life for every year that you're here. He just dropped that down from 2045 to 2029 with things like stem cell, genetic testing, CRISPR technology, and all these things that are out there. So the thing I would impress upon you is, yeah, we may not know today, right now, but there's things coming that if you keep your body and yourself healthy enough, there's going to be things coming that you don't even realize are out there that's going to be helping you so you can get those upgrades of what science has so your body's still able to respond to it and to take advantage of it.